Debrief. We've played every mission of the mainline Halo video games, and now we're playing every mission from the rest of the games in the franchise in chronological order. Each episode will be discussing our experiences and sprinkling in a little lore along the way. If you'd like to play along and have your thoughts spread on the show, email us at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. We'll be playing the Beachhead mission from Halo Wars on the next episode. If you like what you hear and want to support the show, visit Podcast Evolved on Patreon. This episode, we're debriefing the Repairs mission from Halo Wars. I'm your host, Colin Perkins, alongside David Arnold.
Hello, everybody.
And Krista Brown.
We get to shoot purple guys again!
Yay!
Yay!
I think wasn't I saying on this the last mission I was sick of the flood?
Yeah, you were.
So perfect. Back to the Covenant. This is great. Last mission, so that was cleansing. Below the surface of the Shield world, the Spirit of Fire was escorted through the planet's innards by a coordination of Forerunner Sentinels. However, the hull of the ship was littered with flood that followed them inside. Cutter ordered Forge and Red Team to clear the infestation, but found themselves fighting the floating robots as well as the flood. After all of the organic mess was cleared from the hull, the Sentinels retreated, and the UNSC continued pursuing Anders inside the metal planet. Now in Repairs, the Spirit of Fire emerges from the innards of the Shield world and is now inside the planet. Cutter orders evasive action away from the Covenant ship that's heading right for them. The Spirit avoids a head-on collision, but takes significant damage. Cutter orders Forge to repair the ship's power core while repelling the alien boarding party. The date of the game is February 25th, or excuse me, no, just February. February. We're still in February at the tail end. I did look ahead on the dates, so all this stuff is happening pretty closely together, but we don't have a specific date on this mission. So February 25-31. David, this one's a good cutscene.
Oh, it's real good. I love it. It's such a smooth ass cutscene.
Yeah.
It's short. Well, it's not. Yeah, it's short enough, but I love it. So pretty much, you get like a scene of like the kind of countryside, and you see some kind of forward structures there, and then out of the blue comes a huge big ass ship. The Spirit of Fire comes up right out of the ground, and it's just like instantly you get the scale like straight away of like this massive ship coming up out of the ground. It looks awesome. Yeah. And then straight away it's kind of like, oh shit, battle stations, and there's a Covenant cruiser right in front of them, and like they crash, which is pretty damn cool. And it kind of looks like the Spirit of Fire gets fucked up here.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like all the damage is on their side. But then it's pretty cool to like all the kind of battle station, all the guns kind of start popping, all these deck guns are popping up and raising up out of the actual out of the ship, and start shooting and bombarding the Covenant cruiser.
Yep.
It's epic. The scale is huge. It's really, really cool, quick cutscene. The mission pretty much ends there in the middle of this kind of ship on ship battle. You just get like, I think it's either, it's probably Cutter that says like, Forge, you still have work to do, stay out there. And pretty much they're gonna have Forge like organize some repairs on the ship. That's pretty much where the mission just kicks off straight away.
Serena mentions, she goes, am I the only one that's freaked out by the fact that we're inside the planet?
The location you're in is awesome.
Yeah. Again, I think I mentioned it before, but like this whole I guess the way they present it is cool, but it's also confusing. Like if you're just a new to Halo person, like now we're inside this thing, like what the hell is going on? So it's cool, and it's, you know, as you get more into the lore, it makes sense. And we'll probably, I think we mentioned before, let's cover off on like what this planet is on the recap show. We could talk about the whole thing in some details. But the other thing I like about this cutscene is Cutter's rolling chair or floating chair, whatever it is, like he's like wheeling around inside the command station. That's kind of fun to see how they move him around in there. But yeah, it's short and sweet. The objective of this mission is to repair the power core, but the power core didn't seem to get screwed up in the collision, so I'm not really sure. It seems like the whole port side of the ship got sliced off, but apparently that's fine.
Yeah, apparently the rest of the ship's just perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's just a power core, guys. It's fine.
Right.
I think
Which
they're
is-
lying to us.
Yeah, it's just one of those gameplay things. Like, something got messed up, let's make it the power core. So what do we have here? Let's do the objectives of this mission. It's a quick mission, so we'll probably blaze through this, but the main objective is to repair the power core. Pretty simple. The optional objectives are to keep at least one of the deck guns alive, and I mentioned that the deck guns in the last mission, so that was a mistake. They were there, but they were lowered into the hull of the ship. Now they've actually popped out, as you saw in that cutscene, and those things can take damage. And if all of those get destroyed, then you won't get the optional objective points. The other optional objective is kill 12 spirit transports. That's always fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. And then part-time is 10 to 20 minutes. It's a quick one. Scoring goals is pretty, let's see, I feel like it's a decent score that we can get up to. The gold is 32,000 and above. Silver is 22 to 31. Bronze is 12 to 21. Tin is 0 to 12. Theoretical best score from the Prima Guide is 48,000. Krista, you want to start us off?
48,000.
Yes! Nice work. Back to perfect. Very nice.
Cheater.
She did it again.
I did it!
David, how'd you do?
I got smack on 32,000.
No way.
I was happy with, but
Okay. Nice. So you got the gold by getting
Got gold,
dead
baby.
on. Funny. I did well on this. I felt good about it. It's 46,349. So not quite the best score. I think I just got a couple points back from the time. I must have been a little bit over time. Over that 10-minute time point. Cool. Krista, what's in the toy box for this mission?
Oh, so many fun things, plus some new things.
Still new stuff. We're like, what is this, the 12th mission? It's
I
great.
was pleasantly surprised. I'm like, wait, what? We get something new now?
Yeah.
We're pretty much at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our hero units: Forge, the Spartan 2s, Jerome, Alice, Douglas. We know them. We love them.
We do.
They're great. Mwah. Except Forge, he doesn't do much.
No. He does not. He just dies.
I could have just put him in a corner at
man,
this
as soon
point.
as they took him out of his warthog, he just lost all purpose really for me. I've used him to
Yeah.
capture buildings a few times and
Yep.
just take points. I'm like, you just stay there,
Exactly.
generate some resources.
Like, he's a better Marine, but he doesn't. He's all by himself. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't have his buddies, and he's got a shotgun. So it's cool having him out there. Like, oh look, but it would almost be better if we didn't control him. He just moved around on his own. That would be kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
just
I
did
guess so, yeah.
things. Yeah, I could see that.
Or if he had the ability to like join units and like buff them in the same way, like
that would be cool.
Spartans take over vehicles. Maybe like Forge takes over a unit and goes around with a
Mhm.
bunch of Marines or something. That'd be cool.
I love that. Speaking
All right.
of, sorry, before you keep going,
Okay.
have you tried for a Spartan to take over a Cyclops?
No, I haven't. Does that work?
I don't know. That seems pointless, but
I don't think
maybe.
so. I don't think it's a quote unquote vehicle because it's built in a barracks. I would think it's probably it's an
Oh, good
infantry
point.
unit. I don't think
That's a
they
good
would be
point,
able
yeah.
to.
Well
Okay.
played.
So we have our infantry airlock, we have marines and flamethrowers and their upgrades, we have the all infamous Cyclops.
Beautiful Cyclops.
Beautiful. We have our vehicle airlocks, which has wolverines, gremlins, and hawks.
What? What's a hawk?
A hawk? Well, lore-wise, a hawk is basically a ground support anti-tank
Okay.
air unit.
It's pretty
Uh,
sweet looking. I love the look of it.
Yes, please.
It's
Oh,
cool.
slick
It
as all hell.
fires like a laser thing. It's great.
Mm-hmm. It's got like the kind of hooked, like the tail kind of goes down a little bit, so it's like built at an angle. It's cool. I love it.
And so these are the final upgrade for Hornets, technically,
Mm-hmm.
with if you have Anders around.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
really? Is that how that works?
Mm-hmm. That's her special unit.
Her specialty unit is the ability to just completely change a unit into another unit.
Right.
Very special. I love it. So we have our turrets. The turrets are pretty much in the exact same place as the last mission, so you already know this layout. It's the same map. We have deck guns, which just kind of sit there.
Yep. And again, I mentioned that they weren't there last time, but they are there to this time.
And then we have our Spirit of Fire abilities. Heal and Repair, Carpet Bomb. Love them. Pretty simple. We got them. We have some Covenant units. We have ground units, Elites, Grunts, Jackals, Hunters. We have Locusts as their ground vehicles. And their air units are Spirit Dropships, Banshees, and Vampires. So all stuff we love. One little new thing, the rest we all come to know and love and keep going.
Yeah, it's good to fight the Covenant again. I feel like it was time. The flood
as you were slowly dying inside.
The flood was wearing on me. Yeah, exactly. Let's fight the purple guys again. But this crew that we're fighting, because it is on top of the Spirit of Fire, so they're not sending everything. But, you know, the Banshees and Vampires, those make sense. It makes sense that we're not seeing, I think, like Ghosts and Wraiths, because those are more, you know, ground-based units. But the Locust, they can pop that on. It can crawl around on top of the ship, which is cool. Difficulty modifications. Let's see. Easy. All enemies have 50% less health and inflict 50% less damage. That's pretty standard. Heroic. More Covenant attacks on the power core. Jackals are enhanced, and more deck guns are initially damaged. Oh, interesting. Legendary. I've all but abandoned my heroic runs, by the way.
Aww.
I'll get back to
Good
them
choice.
eventually,
Good
but
choice, Colin.
I was playing these missions way too much, so I'm just sticking to normal for now for my score. Legendary, all enemy units have 20% more health, inflict 20% more damage, more Covenant attacks on the power core, and you begin with fewer units. I don't think this would be too tough on Legendary. It's pretty simple on normal. I'm sure it's probably tough to get gold, but just to complete the mission is probably not too bad. All right, take us through, David. How did you do it?
I did it pretty well. It's a basic ass mission, and I imagine we're probably all very similar in what we did. I pretty much abandoned the front of the ship and focused everything in and around the power core and like the kind of first area.
Yeah.
I pretty much
like the raised area right in the middle.
Yeah, the raised area is where I had a large portion of my forces. I realized pretty quick that this is going to be mostly anti-air, so I think I had about 3 Wolverines and I put them near the reactor, and they pretty much defended, as well as the couple of Marines you kind of start off with the Cyclopses, and then I just slowly built the Cyclops as my resources had enough, and I pretty much spammed the Sparrowhawks. That's pretty much all I made. I didn't do any upgrades. I did like literally nothing else. It was literally just air units, and I just moved my big squadron around forward and back. I actually had a lot of fun just doing that. I probably could have finished it way faster if I focused more on building Cyclopses, but I was actually just enjoying the mission and using these Hawks because I'd totally forgotten all about them until I actually started this mission. I was like, what the fuck is that?
And they wreck shop. Cool. They do really well.
They do really well, yeah. And that's pretty much all I did. I just had all my Cyclopses as I slowly built them up, defended by my Wolverines that took down everything, pretty much. And I moved my Hawks around when things landed and anything that kind of cropped up.
Did you build many turrets?
Oh, I built 1 or 2. I think there was a period of time where I had way more resources than I was using, and I just built a few random turrets. I actually used 1 or 2 Cyclopses to repair some deck guns once or twice, because I think there's a secondary objective to keep at least 1 or something like that up. So I repaired like the 2 closest to the reactor just to kind of maintain those. That's pretty much all I did.
Nice. Yeah, I mean it's pretty basic. So I mean that's like shortest walkthrough ever, right?
Pretty much.
It's build gremlins, fix the stuff, build Hawks, blow up the stuff, and maybe some turrets. Done. Not a whole lot different. I did put some of my my army in the front of the ship because I wanted to take out those dropships. Did you get the optional objective for the 12 dropships doing what you did, David?
I think so. Yes, I think I did that.
Okay, so you still got that. And then there's some locusts, and they do send pretty big waves at times across the entire ship. They'll drop them off on the front, and then there'll be times too when they banshees are coming over, just at the core, or they'll drop off some jackals and some hunters and whatnot towards the core, and you gotta bring your boys back. Oh, did you put your Spartans in the Hawks, David, or in the Wolverines?
For the first time ever, I remembered to do this, so I I actually put the Spartans into the Hawks there. That was pretty cool.
It makes such a big difference.
That. Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, at one point I think I had all my Spartan Hawks because I felt like I was noticing most of the waves of the Covenant coming from the front of the ship. I had them like spread out, like one on the port side, one in the middle, and then defending like the two airlocks, and then one on the starboard side. And so they were just kind of there, and they would just move around. They would kind of stay in that area, but move around and take out most of what would come in. They would team up on the drop ships, and then I did some Wolverines kind of back towards the power core, and then I sent a few Cyclops right away. I think maybe I had 3 or maybe 4 right away. And then as I was getting closer to the end of the mission, once I got all of the drop ships, all 12 drop ships destroyed, then I just built a couple more Cyclops, and then sent them back to the power core to finish it off. I did build a bunch of turrets along the way too, so doing the missile version of those, that was super helpful for taking out the drop ships, because a lot of times the drop ship would kind of swoop in, and those turrets would just focus on it and just take it out right away, so it wouldn't even be able to drop any of the Covenant that it was holding. So yeah, I think it's pretty basic. I don't think I really did any upgrades either for my vehicles. I didn't feel like it was super necessary. You're kind of in a little bit of a rush, but at the same time you feel like you have a lot of time. I never gotten to the point where I felt overwhelmed from the Covenant attacks. I had my swarm of Hawks just roaming around. Forge is just kind of there. He's running around a little bit. I think the Marines that you got right away, I think some of those actually ended up surviving as well. The black box is, where did I say it?
It's on the hull again, just like last time.
Mm-hmm. Kind of off on the side by the power core, so it's on the port side of the hull, and you need to use a Hawk. You need to use an air unit to get over there to grab that, and then the skull, once you get the 12 drop ships, is near the front. And again, I think that's one that you have to get with the Sparrow Hawk, so it's kind of towards the front of the ship, floating in the middle there. So grab those. Krista, any variations or anything else that you did to get perfect?
I think the big thing is I didn't let any of the deck guns die.
Oh, that's huge. Nice.
Yeah, so the big thing is I basically made, like, a strike team of Cyclopses.
Ooh, I like that.
And they just went around and repaired, like, all the turrets and all of the deck guns and stuff like that, just to make sure nothing died.
And you were directing them, right? Or would they do that on their own?
If they're near something and it gets damaged, they'll automatically go over and heal it, but I was just kind of monitoring all my turrets. I put a bunch of turrets down with anti-air so I could get the spirit drop ships pretty quickly.
I noticed that one point I built a Cyclops and I didn't do anything with it right away, and then it was just over healing one of my turrets. I was like, oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I realized, so after the first playthrough, I realized that was a thing, and so the second playthrough, I just did that, and I got perfect on my second.
Nice.
Very nice. And then, of course, you send a bunch of extra Cyclopses over to the core to heal it, and then just Hawks, but really just making sure everything's, like, topped off on health really helps.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice the supplies? It felt slower. Like, it comes in, like, 10...
does it have to do with
10?
Like how many units you're destroying or something? I couldn't figure it out, but okay. I was just, when I had supplies, I just put it into something. Eventually I had extra, I made like every turret and stuff like that, but... Yeah,
the start I wanted to build a bunch of turrets and maybe a couple Hawks, but I had to wait around for a little while for that to happen.
Yeah, but it's short and sweet. It's easy.
Yeah, pretty simple. So this is the second mission on top of the Spirit of Fire. It's just a cool setting, right? I remember these missions originally and how thinking that they were cool. I think I remember the previous mission and how that was more of a pain in the ass. And then by the time you get to this one, you kind of get it down.
It's definitely a cool setting, especially the idea of like a ship-to-ship battle going on. Thought it'd be cooler if you could see more of that, but I guess there are some limitations to what they can do. But the idea of it was then the setup of it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. The other thing to think about, I guess, is in that cutscene. You know, when the Spirit of Fire emerges, there must be some like, I don't know, some gravity stuff going on top, because it flies out almost vertically from the middle of the planet, and then they crash into that Covenant ship. Meanwhile, I think Forge and everybody is still on top of the ship. So somehow
they might have just been going too fast or something. Yeah.
So somehow they hang on top there, and they just run around from there. But it's good. Yeah, it's fun little quick mission. What's trivia on this one?
There's some small bits of trivia, nothing like super interesting, but one or two pieces. I'll read out a few. In the pre-rendered cutscene, the lines on the surface of the shield world are latitudinal, although they are longitudinal in the game. Spirit of Fire's marine complement probably required a few minutes to reach the outer hull, during which time the ships could have altered their respective headings, explaining the change in the line's orientation. The terrain on the surface also looks slightly different, likely due to the graphical limitations. The Spartan units from Red Team are incorrectly labelled as Spartan Omega Team when the player selects them during gameplay.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
The repairs glitch can be done in this level. This sounds mental, but I don't know why you do this, but anyway. When the player first has to kill all the Marines but make sure the Hornet survives, upgrade the Hornets to max, and then make the rest of the units Cyclops. When the Cyclopses are still being made, get the Hornets fully upgraded and keep on selecting outside the map. Yeah, Hornets. This is probably wrong. It says Hornets. It probably means Sparrows. Once all the Cyclops are built, the player will have to have their Hornets and camera stuck outside the map, and the mega turret can be seen floating in midair. This may take a few tries to perform. Once outside the map, you're stuck out there. You can't get back. I don't know why you do it unless you want to see this mega turret.
I'm so confused. That's crazy.
Sounds mental.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing is the Spirit of Fire's deck guns aid you in the mission, destroying banshees and spirits. Don't rely on them, however, because they have a slow rate of fire and cannot attack ground units.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
They're more or less there to shoot at the Covenant ship, not do anything else. More for aesthetic. Cool. Is there some good achievements in this too?
There is one achievement, I forget what it's called. It is to repair the core in like under 4 minutes, I think it is. Oh, it's 4 or 5 minutes.
That's rad.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's fun.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I ended up doing it because I had extra time because I got perfect on my second try. But all you do is just, you don't care about the guns, you don't care about anything else. You literally just spam Cyclopses and you just have like your maxed out population of Cyclopses.
That's funny.
Healing it. It's pretty hilarious, actually.
That's cool. Nice. What does the black box have to say?
The black box. Let's see. The stupid thing on the side of the ship for no reason.
Right. Do you guys look around, or do you just look up a guide? Like, do you try to find the black box in the mission?
I do try and find them. I've messed it up the last 2 games, though.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of just forgotten about it.
No, I look up the I look up the black box, but the skull pretty much just tells you where it is.
Yeah.
By blipping you on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is great. Excerpt from the Punishable Deeds.
Oh.
Volume 3. Ooh, very nice. The shield world that Regret intended to activate was one of just a few that the Covenant had uncovered in the quest for the Halos. These treasure chests of technology enabled the Covenant to quickly gain access to advanced weaponry and space propulsion systems, allowing them to dominate the galaxy.
Whoa.
Very cryptic. Ooh.
Nice. That was it?
That was it. That's all she wrote.
Can you guys remind me? Can you remind me? And I know we've talked about this at some point, but why is no one in the shield worlds? Why are there no Forerunners in there?
They didn't have time to evacuate.
Oh, because of the war.
Yeah, they all pretty much evacuated to the Arcs, but had absolutely no ability to get off the Arcs at that point.
There was also like loads of politics involved in terms of like the Didax plan was shield worlds and the master builder was Halos. So they didn't like the Didax, so like they kind of rejected his plan which was to build shield words, hide out there, and kind of continue to fight the flood, as opposed to like kill everything around it. And so the master builder kind of won, let's say.
Yeah, he basically didn't like the idea, and so no one got to go there.
Gotcha.
It's kind of a dick move.
That's weird though.
Part.
Like so it must have been mostly manufactured by Sentinels and the technology, or the people were, or the foreigners were there, and then they just didn't stick around because they couldn't, because of the politics stuff that's going on. Interesting. Okay, let's do our community and we'll get out of here. Quick one today. Let's do Facebook.
Yes. Sorry, give me a 2-second dose. I forgot to scroll down when I did this.
How dare you?
Well, you gotta do some scrollies. So, Mr. Colin Perkins, admin, March 23rd at 2:23 p.m. Oh, I like that. 23. Good job, Colin. The UNSC just dropped off a fully functional Hrunting Mark 3B exoskeleton, aka Cyclops, at your front door with no questions asked. What do you use it for? Question for mission debrief, Halo Wars repairs mission. That's a cool ass picture, by the way. Looks so bulky. We got a few comments in here. AJ says, getting some toilet paper back from the hoarders and handing it out to the seniors. Nice guy, AJ. Rob says, this is my hazmat suit. Jared says, skipping traffic. Jesse, maybe to destroy the micromanaging dicks I have to work for. That sounds fun. Matthew, you know that guy who ran a muffler shop and got screwed by his own town, so he built an armored bulldozer and bulldozed the town that ruined him. What the hell? I'd have loved this thing, and I'd post it on the front door. I never have to worry about theft. That's crazy. Dave says, out comes the list, on goes the heavy metal, it's time to settle a few scores. Some revenge posts in here, guys.
Yeah, right.
Manny
Get
says,
some angry folks.
remember the episode of X-Men wherein Colossus was hired to bulldoze a building and all the workers despised him? Yeah, I want that hate when I rock that mech. So specific. But I do remember that episode because X-Men is amazing. Lance says, get some toilet paper and then go to the Winchester and wait for this all to blow over. That's an excellent quote from World's End. Patrick says, first I try and hide it because our lovely government would be all over it, then probably showing it off at a homie, and then finally finding a way to play Halo 5 from within the suit. Thomas says, I use it for hunting down that pesky alien queen, that she's in the hangar bay of my spaceship, power loader armor, eat your heart out, it's time for Cyclops to shine. That's what I think of as well, Thomas, when I see this is the heavy bot loader from the Aliens franchise. So it's a cool fight scene at the end of Aliens 2.
Yeah, totally.
Brad says, what do I use it for? Whatever the hell I want. It's a motherfucking Cyclops. Who's going to stop me? Storm says, renovate my house, then go renovate the Walmart I work at so we can have some more space, and totally demise the car that was always taking my parking spot at work, then go to anime convention, show off my Cyclops to all those who be wearing Gundam costumes.
I like that.
Make people
Matthew
feel
says,
real bad about themselves.
Pretty much. Matthew says, Cyclops, huh? I guess I'll steal Jean Grey from Wolverine. Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
And finally, Grego says, sell to U.S. Army. I'm set for life. There we go.
Very
Perfect.
nice. Thank you, Facebook. What's Discord have to say?
Oh, some interesting, a lot of toilet paper jokes. Like, a lot of toilet paper jokes.
Topical.
Busting through the riots to get toilet paper at Tesco's was Blue Calyx. Thank you. Hectorus says an anti-coronavirus suit for me to go outside with and unlive panic buyers. Oh god. Jedi Spartan 38 says place it outside my nearest shop and stop people from stockpiling toilet paper.
Yep, that seems to be a trend.
Minmax speech says dance party.
Yeah, I like that.
The first good one. Toilet paper jokes are funny, guys. Just a little overdone. Axif says
someone listening to this episode like a year from now is kind of
they're not gonna understand.
Why do you talk about toilet
they'll
paper
understand.
all the time?
Yeah. Axif says, I bring havoc and destruction to Florida beaches and send the spring breakers home just for the lulz. Those silly spring breakers.
Yeah, come on.
Spartan B312 says, use it to get to school, and then The bus won't be late by 15 minutes, and I get to walk home in a Mac. Win-win-win, guys. And he says I'm the best host. Thank you. Matt says to get to work because there are too many damn people on the road during a supposed lockdown. Also to help enforce the lockdown Texas style.
Oh boy.
Ooh. Dizzy Bumper says I figure I could finally get around to doing that kitchen remodeling I've been putting off. Big Cyclops suit makes demolition easy. I'd also name the suit Daddy. Oh god.
Very nice. That's Bioshock, right?
I mean Big Daddy, technically.
Yeah.
Barrett King says, I would use it to fix my car, from anything simple like a tire change to a new engine, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Because I don't know what I'm doing with cars. So
That'd be great.
You might end up breaking the car, to be fair.
But there's got to be some, like fix button on the inside, right? And then you don't have to do anything.
Just an instant fix button?
Yeah.
Oh god, I need a fix button for my life. Where do I get it? And that's about it. That's what the Discord has to say.
Very nice. Thank you all who comment every week. We love it. Love to hear your thoughts in that participation. That will do it for our debriefing of the repairs mission from Halo Wars. On the next episode, we'll be covering Beachhead. Send us your thoughts at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. You can also support the show by visiting Podcast Evolved on Patreon. Until next time, evolve.
Evolve!